What does autism have to do with the environment? Well, I think everything. Autism is America's fastest growing developmental disability. It's up 600% in 20 years, to the point that now 1 out of every 88 children, or even worse, 1 out of every 70 boys, is statistically destined for a diagnosis, according to the CDC. So why this dramatic increase? Increased identification of the condition obviously is going to come into play, but a spike of 600%, it just seems like it's improbable that that would only be accounted for by identification. So more and more doctors and scientists are pointing to the environment as a cause. Here's a great quote that I'm going to read to you. "We live, breathe, and start our families in the presence of toxic chemical mixtures and constant low-level toxic exposure." So that's when I'm talking about things like phthalates, in plastics and in fragrances, things like that, that sort of constant low-level exposure that people say, oh, it's not high, it's not going to hurt them. But when you add it up, it can potentially. So back to the quote. So constant low-level toxic exposures in stark contrast to the way chemicals are tested for safety. This is from Donna Ferrullo, the director of the program research at the Autism Society, and this was at on a conference call organized by Safer Chemicals Healthy Families, which is an amazing organization that I'm going to share the URL below. So check those guys out. They're doing a lot of work to try to get the government to better regulate toxic chemicals so that our families can be safer. Donna concluded by saying, lead, mercury, and other neurotoxic chemicals have a profound effect on the developing brain at levels once thought to be safe. So that's it in a nutshell. So just to be clear, there's no clear-cut data on why autism occurs. Most scientists agree that there are many factors, from genetic to environmental, which may increase the risk. And hundreds of genes have been associated with autism, some of which are inherited and some of which are found in people with autism but not in their parents. And this is a way deeper conversation, but there is some research into the way that toxic chemicals in our environment are changing our genes. Large number of environmental factors are being looked at, including chemicals, infectious agents, health problems in the parents, and autism, is coming from probably from a combination of risk factors. But with that said, I think it makes sense when looking at this pervasive problem to make sure that our homes are as safe as they possibly can. So all of these things that I'm talking about, autism is certainly one of the things that we want to try to prevent by creating safer and non-toxic homes. I'll leave you with one more quote, and this is actually something that Dick Jackson, who is the chair of the UCLA Environmental Health Sciences Department, once told me. He said, "The genes load the gun, the environment pulls the trigger." So unfortunately, we don't yet know what the trigger is specifically, but I am guessing that it's man-made and that we should, all the things that we do know are risk factors. Lead that I've talked about before, mercury, general toxic chemicals in the environment. Let's just minimize as much as we can and do the best we can. Okay, serious one, I know. Anyway, please like, share. I would love to hear your comments on this. What do you think? What's your personal experience? I know most of us, either in our families or in some families that we know closely, have had experiences with this problem, and so I would love to know your thoughts on it. And tweet me questions at Rachel L. Sarnoff, and I will see you here every Friday. Thanks.